Welcome back everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, it's going to be a special one because we're going to talk about the Lalo. Now Lalo has been a very long forgotten strategy since the release of Town Hall 17, even at the beginning of Town Hall 16. But now, with the new buffs of the Lava Hound and the balloons, as well as the new spell, I believe I found a way to make it work. So let's jump right into it. This is the army that I cooked up so far. As some of you may realize, it is an RC charge with a kill squad into Lalo. But now you may say, if it's an RC charge, where's the recall? Exactly. We're not going to use a recall. We're going to do a Sui-RC into a kill squad into a Lalo. That being said, I'm going to talk about the troops, the spells, the siege machine I use, the clan castle troops, and the hero. Let's start with the troops. So, as mentioned, we're going to do a kill squad. We need a golem to help protect the log launcher. And I've also put a nice golem because I want to invest a little bit more into my kill squad. I have two wall breakers to help path my king as well as my queen potentially inside the base. And of course, you need some help of funnel. So that's why I have two baby dragons, a Valkyrie just in case there are some skeletons, and a Yeti. All their purpose is to funnel. Well, the Valkyrie, if you don't see any skeleton traps, then you may save it for a funnel later on. Now, I have 3 headhunters to deal with any defensive heroes, which are going to be very important to take off because they are very strong against a Lalo. Now, obviously, because it's a Lalo attack, we have 24 balloons and 1 lava hound. That's for the Lalo. And it's going to be a similar setup, which you're going to have a main pack to push in, and you're going to sprinkle a little bit your balloons on the side so that they can join in with the main pack and replace the force. Now, of course, we have the lava hound to counter any types of defense that could really benefit the balloons. And because we have the new ice block spell, which will really benefit this attack, which I'm going to talk later on, is a very strong combo. Now, as you can see, I have 8 minions and an archer for cleanup behind the balloons. But now you may think, why do I have 3 druids? Well, because I'm not using the healing tome and I'm using another equipment, I need some healing because balloons do take a lot of damage. So 3 druids will really help to keep them at least in shape. So that's the troop. Let's talk about the spells. So obviously we're going to start with an RC charge. So a Sui-RC charge, meaning I don't recall her, I just let her die. Therefore, 5 invisibility spell is more than enough. I have 1 skeleton spell to help tank for the golem as well as the ice golem, and for your kill squad for any types of monolith or single inferno, it's going to help disable them. Therefore, you're going to have more value with them. For the little part, I have 2 haste spells which will really help push the balloons at a very fast speed through high burst damage or area splash, which can melt your balloons or do a lot of damage. Now here we have the ice block spells, which is very useful to freeze and help tank and mitigate a lot of damage for your balloons when you're freezing the lava hound. And also I'm going to use another ice block, for something else that I'm going to talk later on, which is linked with the warden. And of course, our free spell, just in case I need to freeze a lot of splash damage. A versatile spell, basically. Now let's start with the hero, and let's start this time with the warden. Now, of course, we have a flying warden, and as you can see in the equipments, other than Diggy to help stun with the defenses and the Eternal Tome to keep the balloons alive, we have the Lava Loon Puppet. Yes, I'll be using the Lava Loon Puppet for this strategy. Now, why have I decided to use the Lava Loon Puppet instead of the Healing Tome? Well, for one simple reason, because I get 2 extra lava loons that I can freeze and help tank. I've realized that even with the healing tome, I can keep my troops alive for quite some time. But without the extra tanking from the other lava hound or extra healing at the back, I'm not going to have enough force. Even though I remove my 3 druids and put an extra lava hound, it's not gonna be enough. It's so inconsistent as well. Balloons can die right away. So I like to have an extra tanking. Therefore, I use the lava loon puppet, and I realized that it really greatly helped to be a more consistent attack overall, because it could either be overkill or it could completely fumble. With the lava loop puppet, it synergizes well with the ice block, and it feels like it's way more consistent and mostly overkill over time. So that's the warden. Now let's talk about the king. Now, like every kill squad that I've shown, I have the phoenix on the king to revive him so he gets more value. I have the earthquake boots to open the compartments inside the base or to help to enter the base, and I have the spiky ball for extra damage. Here for the queen, I have the giant arrow to cripple any walls and defenses that the log launcher can take out. I have the healer puppet so that she gets extra healing when she's pushing into the kill squad, and I have Sneezy to do extra damage. If you don't have Sneezy, you can use Frosty or the unicorn, but I recommend Frosty over the unicorn. And for the royal champion, I decided to use the spirit fox and the electro boots with the haste vial. Now I know that in most cases you kind of want to have the rocket spear for the RC charge, charge, but this time, because I'm going to let her die, I want as much value as possible. But with the haste val, with the attack speed increase, and with her ability which increases way more, you're going to get way more value with her. It's going to create a beautiful funnel for your kill squad, also for your balloons. Now for my siege machine, because we're doing a kill squad, we're going to use the log launcher. Now just in case your kill squad doesn't go as planned, or you see that your RC never got enough value, then you can maybe use a blimp. But honestly, I don't see a world where the RC can really mess up that bad that you cannot do a kill squad. So I just recommend to use the log launcher all the time. For the CC, other than the siege machines here, I have a rage spell. That way can help boost the damage from the Yetis inside your CC, as you can see, which, as you know, in the kill squad, Yetis are extremely powerful inside the core. They destroy the town hall, very important defenses, and under the rage, with the Yeti mites, they destroy pretty much everything in the area. Now as a filler, I decided to take a goblin because I like them. And I have a poison spell just in case there are some enemy CC. So that's the army. Let's jump into planning. Now, like the average Lalo, you need to create a planning where your balloons can path around the base. So you need to create a sort of donut, so the core removed, that has been bitten up. So that will be like the area where your kill squad and RC charge would normally destroy. That being said, the most important defenses that you need to take down with your RC and your kill squad is the most multi-inferno that you can, at least a scatter shot, any spell towers with the poison spells if you can find one, some fire spitters, and last but not least, the town hall. This will be very crucial as it does so much damage to your balloons. They just melt like butter. Now that's out of the way. We need to think, where do I want to send my kill squad? I could send it on the top. I got good value. I get the multi-inferno tower and the monolith right here, as well as the clan castle potentially. But here's the thing, because I want to create a donut, I can't really go for the top because I also need to destroy the town hall. And if I do an RC charge to the town hall, it's just going to be an awkward pathing. Unless if your RC is able to path around here for some reason, then maybe it could work with the pathing afterwards like that. But other than that, you might want to send, to be more safe of course, your kill squad from that direction. It's going to secure the town hall as well as some fire spitters in the core as well as the clan castle with your Yetis. Now that we have discovered the area where we want to place our kill squad, let's talk about the RC charge. Now either from this side or the right side, because this is a mirror base, we don't really mind. So let's do it on the left side. I want to take out around this area. That looks fair. So you send her right here. She's going to take out the mortar as well, the small archer tower. She might path to the air defense, which you might want to invis so that she decides to path on this scatter shot, which is going to be a very important defense to take down. Then after she paths to the rage spell and she can take down the multi-inferno tower. That will be more than enough value for her. She's going to take off a lot of pressure for your balloon. So an RC charge either on the left or on the right if it's a mirror base, of course. A symmetrical base, I should say. And let's say this area is completely gone. Now you can send your kill squad. So don't forget your golem right here is going to path either on the left or on the right side. Like we talked earlier, well, in another video, we want to put it where there's the less pressure as possible. So on the left side, you're going to send it here. That way you have more value with this golem. It's going to live more. It's going to take for a longer period of time. Now, because we have a nice golem, now this time we can actually invest it to put it at the area where there are more damage. Because that way, let's say your troops path in as well, like your king and goes around, or your queen. This area will get frozen and it will help your heroes to push and destroy this area without taking too much damage. Now, obviously, you want your heroes kind of go inside the base, but your Yetis can enter the base alone and do all the damage because they're not really good value for your heroes other than the fire spitters as well as the geared up defense. So because the left side is destroyed, you can actually path your heroes on the left side a little bit so that they can go there and destroy this area. So queen ability in the middle right here. Then after you want to send your log launcher, obviously you place your golem and your ice golem beforehand. And then after, if you need, do some cleanups like this area. You want to remove that with, let's say, a Valkyrie. Remove that area. On the left side, you can remove with a baby dragon in case there's some pathing for your king to go and can go on the left or not inside the base or not in the area that you want, like on the right, opposite to the RC charge. So your king will path here, will path there. You can also add the Yeti to help him do damage, like let's say on this X-bow once the golem is tanking. And your kill squad can just freely roam and go inside the base to destroy those very dangerous defenses for your balloon. Now you also have a skeleton spell, which you can use it either if there's a monolith in your passage. Like let's say if you want to do it on the top, you can place it right here. Even though there's a multi-inferno tower, you can place it a little bit on the left in case like your heroes pass on the left or the right, sorry, so you can mitigate damage from this ricochet cannon on the left here for the left cannon as well as the monolith. But you may want to place it around this area so that it mitigates the damage from multi-archer tower and the scatter shot as well as the X-bow for a little short period of time. So skeleton spell right here before the king goes in, going to do a lot of damage with his spiky ball and his earthquake boots. It's going to open the compartments. is going to do a lot of damage. The queen behind, she can follow in, she can do whatever she wants, but as long as she's able to get enough value, it's going to be good. Now let's say with your kill squad, you have destroyed around this area, okay? We're going to be generous. We're going to be generous for the base, of course. So we're going to destroy this area. Looks pretty good, right? Now time for your Lalo. Now either you're going to path it from the top or from the bottom. Now usually you kind of want to do it against your heroes because if they are still alive, they can path around and do some good value. While if you send your balloons from the top, then your heroes might not be as valuable as if you send your balloons on top and let them do the work at the bottom. So from the top, you're going to send your main balloons most of the time. Sometimes there could be like a small compartment where it's going to be very easy to take down with, let's say, just send a lava hound and some balloons, and then send your main push on the side so that they can join in and then after continue. But for this example, we're just going to send our main push right away. So your balloons, I like to do like a row of 3. That way they can spread easier. So let's say I'm sending my balloons here, here, and here. All right. That way some can path here. Well, obviously they're going to path to the wizard tower first, but some afterwards can path there. After some can go in, and after they can all join up here. Now we need to be careful because we have an infernal tower, a multi-one, which will melt your balloons quite easily. So you can invest a free spell, or you can use your warden ability and activate those lava loons from your lava loon puppet, which is what I'm going to do. So instead of freezing right here, we're going to keep our freeze for later on, or let's say this multi-inferno right here if it's not destroyed. So I'm going to activate my warden ability quite early, and also don't forget I'm going to send some druids behind the balloons to keep them at least in shape, and if they lose a little bit of HP, they can regain that HP quite easily. Now before you use your ability with the warden, I like to deploy a haste spell beforehand. That way the lava loons can actually use that and path towards the nearest air defense, which is going to be this one. And you need to check for any area if there are any splash damage or important damage like the scatter shot, or of course any single inferno towers, even wizard towers at this point. So right here, let's say the scatter shot is not down for some reason, well, the lava loons can actually help and tank with the ice block as well for the scatter shot, meaning your balloons won't die as easily. Now let's talk back to our main push. We're going to use our warden ability, and like any type of Lalo, you want to add some balloons on the side surgically so that your main push doesn't go outside and do a long detour which they're more vulnerable to die. So add some balloons here on the wizard tower. You usually use 4, 1 on the side so that it takes most damage, and 3 on the other side. That way they also deal damage, but they're not focused, so they won't receive too much damage, and plus they're going to destroy that wizard tower quite fast. So 4 balloons, one on the side, the other on the opposite side. They're all going to clump up and destroy the wizard tower without taking too much damage. Only one will take much damage. After, once they arrive on this area, you can add 3 more balloons right here to destroy this bomb tower, and afterwards they just path in and it should be overkill. Now of course you have an extra lava hound, which you want to use it with one of your surgical balloons, and usually with that surgical balloon with the lava hound, you want to add a little bit more balloons than usual. So let's say I want to add 6 of them, okay, or maybe 5 is reasonable. So you add 5 balloons with your lava hound, and since you have a second ice block spell, you can freeze the lava hound to tank and mitigate damage for your balloons in a different area, or in the same area in case balloons from the main push haven't arrived yet, or needs to destroy more defenses with some splash damage. So that will help to mitigate damage for your main push, your main balloons. If done right, it should be overkill. If the balloon separates into a very horrible split, you're most likely going to fail because balloons are extremely frail. But because Lalo is extremely quick with the haste spells, you're not going to worry about time failing. That's why we're doing an RC charge into a kill squad. It's a slow setup but very effective. And now you just sent your balloons and they're going very fast throughout the base and destroys everything. It's basically a bloodbath. So of course we use our first haste spell for your lava loons from the lava loon puppet, and the second one can be used for your second mini push with the lava hound and your few balloons, as we talked with the 5 balloons. It could be 6, it could be 4, it's how you decide. So it can help to send your lava hound into the next air defense. So let's say there was another air defense on the other side right here, let's say for some reason it's going to path right there at a high speed. It's going to help tank for any splash defenses, like let's say the scatter shot who's not down yet for some reason, or one shot from the multi-archer tower. You can also save your haste spell in case you don't need it for your next lava hound for your main push or another heavy hitting area, like any types of multi-inferno towers, like we can see here, if they're not taken down for some reason. You can also invest a free spell which can help mitigate damage and help the balloon path in with the haste spell to deal as much damage as possible, to hope that they fall before you get stun freeze or before your balloons all fall from, let's say, the scatter shot or multi-inferno tower. And then after, behind your balloons, you need to add some minions as cleanup. And after, it's just a battle of time. So you just need to not time fail afterwards. But like I said before, Lalo is very fast. You don't have to worry about it as long as you're doing everything right and your balloons doesn't die completely. Now, I have some attacks where all my balloons have died and the remaining balloons left were the lava loon and they actually clutched. So that's another reason why I decided to choose the lava loon puppet over the healing tome. So they can actually clutch your attack. That being said, with the minions released at the back to do some cleanup with maybe an archer, let's say a discorder, they're all going to round up into one big clump to do all the cleanup afterwards. You have successfully attacked and tripled the base with Lalo, of course, if done perfectly. So let's jump into some attacks. This time I have 2 examples just to show how it really works. Let's jump into the first attack. Now, I know this base is not the greatest. As you can see, the fire spitters are in one corner and facing the same direction. Easy to counter. But this first attack is just to showcase in an easier way how the attack works, step by step. So, let's not forget, we need to start with an RC charge, a Sui-RC charge basically. Then after, you need to do your kill squad. And between those 2 attacks, you need to take down the town hall, as well as some splash damage. And thirdly, you need to start your Lalo. So let's jump into the attack. So as you can see, I got some pretty good value, not gonna lie, with the spirit charge. Now, I use the haste spell, so of course it's going to accelerate the process to eliminate as much defenses as possible. So that's why instead of using the rocket spear, like explained before at the beginning of the video, I use the haste spell because I'm just going to let the RC die. So you need to get as much value as possible, and the haste spell does that just perfectly. Now let's jump into the kill squad, which this area is very beautiful to do it. Like we talked before, we send the golem, then after you send your queen, you giant arrow, then after you send your log launcher, you can send your king. I put it here, that way he's going to bat inside the base, and while the giant arrow has crippled some walls right here, and some defenses here, it's going to help the king go inside the base, and hopefully can tank for any damage, which can help to mitigate any damage for your log launcher, which those troops in the end will help take down those defenses, especially the town hall. It is extremely crucial to take down the town hall. Skeleton spell right here to mitigate some damage from the archer queen, as well as the single inferno tower. As you can see, I didn't talk really about it, but I've invested an ice golem to help go inside the base. That way it can help to freeze the area to give a little bit more life to your troops. I started to send some balloons on this area. Honestly, I could have started maybe on this area, even though we started our kill squad right there. But, you know, I started from the opposite of the heroes. So I decided to send the Lalo right there. And they're going to path all around here. And they all need to come back at the end for those defenses. But don't worry, since all those defenses will be gone, the minions can handle this part and do the cleanup. So it's not really a big deal. And then after, the balloons can do cleanup right there. So it really ends up to be good. Also, I want to talk about the rage spell that I placed. As you may realize, I've placed it a little bit earlier before my log launcher gets destroyed because I wanted to get as much firepower from my king and also from the Yetis, which were about to get out from the log launcher. So it's actually to time your rage spell quite well. That way you get as much value as possible. So let's jump into the Lalo now. So I've placed some balloons. I let them take some damage a little bit. And I've placed my druids behind to keep them alive a little bit. So let me just put it at ×1 speed so that we can see and analyze each and every detail as possible. So as you can see, I've placed also a haste spell right here. Like I said before, I need those lava loon from the lava loon puppet to go in the area and tank for splash damage like this scatter shot. So unfortunately, the scatter shot has targeted my main push, but that's why I'm under invincibility with the Eternal Tome. Now, I've ice blocked my Lava Loon Puppet. It's going to tank for this Wizard Tower, which is a very good splash damage mitigated, as well as the air defense. Now, this is what I was talking about the mini push of balloons. Since I didn't have any more defense on the side to path my balloons inside, I just decided to send my mini push behind way further. I could have saved a few balloons maybe for the back end, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Now I decided to use an extra ice block spell. This time I froze both lava loons and the lava hound to mitigate as much damage as possible. And as you can see, there is a tower is mitigated, the air defense is mitigated, and the enemy warden is also halted. So you need to find a way to destroy that warden. Luckily, with the headhunters that I've deployed earlier on that took down those enemy heroes, with the haste spell, in no time they'll go there and kill the warden. Now for the second haste spell, you don't really need to place it anymore because you already destroyed most of the base, as you can see. But if you want, you can place it like around the lava loon. I was going to say the lava loon puppet, but I meant the lava loons from the lava loon puppet under here, so that when they get unfrozen, they can speed through the base and through here to destroy those buildings as fast as possible. So as shown right here, I place it under the lava loon. I still have free spell. I could have used it to stop, like, let's say the warden if he was still standing, or any splash damage like we talked about, like the scatter shot or the multi-inferno tower. Even the town hall, just in case everything went wrong with your kill squad and your RC charge. So that's always good to have a free spell just in case. So that was the first attack, just to showcase how the army worked. Now let's jump into the second attack. Now this is definitely a harder base. It is a very good test to see if your strategy actually works. So here are the equipments: the Eternal Tome and the Lava Loon Puppet, my King, my Queen, and my RC. Now, like I said before, in the planning, you need to take down the Town Hall and some splash defenses if you can, as much as possible, to help your Lalo to not die. Now, since the Town Hall is mostly on the side, I want to take down the Town Hall with my RC. So that's what I'm going to do. As you can see, I've put those defenses invisible so that my RC can repath into the town hall so that she doesn't go on the side and not the value that I want. Now I was lucky here because, as you can see, the CC basically almost all died thanks to the RC and the Electro Boots. So I don't need to use my poison spell. I could invest it into a hero if necessary, but that's some good value basically. So as you can see, the giant arrow has been sent. I'm going to send my launcher in this area so that it can destroy and open those walls for those defenses that needs to get destroyed, especially with the poison spell, which will completely disable and cripple your Lalo. So very important to take that down. A golem, an ice golem, and some skeletons as well. I should have placed my log launcher a little bit earlier. I think I just misclicked it and I thought I'd placed it, but better be late than sorry, am I right? So as you can see, I've placed my Yeti right here to help funnel the king inside. Once it's going to take damage, it's going to help to cripple that ricochet cannon or this bomb tower. My king is going inside. I'm going to place another wall breaker to help break the walls, as well as the long launcher, which is going to continue to help and do damage to those defenses. Now I should have been more careful because my queen took a lot of damage. Imagine if the king was also targeting the queen. I should have placed my poison spell right here and few headhunters as well. I mean, actually, I don't know if I should place some headhunters because of this multi-archer tower, but I should have put the poison here under the minion prince. I place the rage spell. The deities are going to destroy this enemy king, and they're going inside to destroy this new defense, which they can actually create a good pathing for your balloons. You can also destroy the monolith or the builder tower. So I've placed my main push right here. I'm going to put it at ×1 so that we can analyze in better detail what's going to happen. So like I said in the planning, generally speaking, you want to put it the opposite of your heroes. Because I did my kill squad right here, I want to place my balloons right there so that they can path right here and that the heroes at the bottom can do a better job at clearing or crippling those defenses so that it can help for the back once the balloons reach there. So okay, my warden is kind of on the ground. He should have been in the air. That's kind of my mistake. And because of that, he takes damage from the X-bow, the ground X-bow. And my druids are occupying this warden instead of healing the balloon. So that was a mistake on my end. But as you can see, the attack has tripled. Well, obviously. So that's why, just to showcase that is a very strong attack. But yeah, very big mistake. Don't put your warden on the ground. That way, your druids can actually heal the balloons instead of the warden. Now I'm going to place a haste spell right under so that the lava balloons can go here and after to the next air defense, where if he arrives in this area, he can actually tank for the scatter shot and for the poison spell, which is going to be very useful. So right here I froze, going to help mitigate damage from the wizard tower as well as the air defense. So far I'm not in danger of the multi-inferno, but I should be careful because my balloons are going to pass right inside very soon. So I need to send my next push. Since there are no defenses on the side, I can actually send a mini push with more balloons this time so that they can join up with the main group and join force to destroy more buildings. Now this was very unlucky because I wanted my lava hound to go on this one so that it can help and tank for this scatter shot, but that was a mistake on my end. Here I send another haste veil for my balloons so that they can go and zoom through those defenses, especially the multi-inferno, which is going to be the most important defense. Since it's going to target a lot of balloons, I'm going to freeze it. Now my ice block, I believe I actually put it at the wrong place. I should have placed it more on these balloons right now. That way they get to tank for the scatter shots, and then after they can, the balloons behind can join it, and then after they can destroy it before doing further damage. So as you can see, with the few mistakes I've done, even though Lalo is very unforgiving most of the time because it's such a difficult strategy, I still tripled. Look at that, so overkill. I still have my 2 lava loons quite alive, well, under half HP, and this one a little bit higher than half HP, but very close to. But still, I still have both of them alive. They still continue to do massive damage and keep spawning a lot of the lava loon pop, which will help to do a lot more cleanup. Now they're going to target the multi-inferno tower, and honestly, like, even though it's a very dangerous defense, you can't melt all those balloons. So it's basically like GG's, and now you just need to beat the time. So the balloons right here are going to deal with those defenses. But other than that, it's like, it's pretty much over because I still have some minions that can clear off those buildings. They do a significantly good cleanup. So I don't need to worry about time this time. So that was the attack. As you can see at the bottom, I don't know if you noticed, you can scroll back in the video. The druid in the bear form actually helped to tank for the wizard tower. Now it's not that significant near the end, but it could be helpful for, like, let's say a air and ground expo, which could help mitigate damage for your balloons for quite a lot of time. So that was the army. It really works well, but you gotta be very careful for your balloons, and you need to spot any types of splash defenses like the scatter shot and the multi-inferno tower, because those will melt your balloons and you will just lose your attack. What you want to do is that your attack looks like it's overkill with plenty of balloons. If you can't do that, then it's just an easy strategy. Well, easy strategy. It's a very hard strategy, but it is very effective. It is very overkill, and if you're doing everything right, it is pretty safe in my opinion. So in conclusion, is Lalo back? Yes, it is. At least in normal mode. Maybe not at hard mode. We'll have to see. But for normal mode, it definitely works. And the bonus is that the lava loon puppet actually works and synergizes with the ice block spell, which is all I wanted to do. And it also helps that their channel tone actually got a rework that gives an advantage for them. So yeah, I'm really happy to have Lalo back because that was the strategy I've used since Town Hall 13 until I was Town Hall 16. Once I reached Town Hall 17, it really fell off. I couldn't do any Queen Charge Lalo, so I had had to switch from new strategies. But now that it's back, I'm going to stick with it until it's not viable anymore, which means probably during Town Hall 18. So like always, I'm going to send the link for the army comp in case you want to learn it and try it for yourself. If you love Lalo, then you're going to have a blast with it. It's really fun. It's so nostalgic to have Lalo back. It's really amazing. And for the next guide, I might cover something very interesting that some people might think is extremely weird, but it will work. See you in the next guide.